story. So when the Dutch left, the Dutch took a big group of people to Tebu. Those musicians, until today, they still remember their ancestors came from Melaka and brought the Keroncong music there.
Okay.
That is the form of music, and from there it developed and spread and became Keroncong Tebu, Keroncong this, Keroncong that. But originally came from Melaka. And this group of people were given a choice to have their freedom, or Manchika or something. They were given that freedom of not being under so-called slavery anymore. And they were given a village and they lived there because the Dutch was like in love with this kind of music. Okay? So what I'm saying is this dance disappeared. This dance was only reintroduced in the 1950s when other people brought this cultural material in song, music, and the dance form. When there was this visiting foreign minister that was going throughout the world to visit former colonies. That's when it started in 1953.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So that form of dance was very different. But it is now like this our traditional dance. No, it's not.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
Even
you.
the colourful dress is not traditional dress. Some people say Portuguese, must be the colourful dress, that's Portuguese. It's not. It's at least yes, Portuguese, but not the local Portuguese. Ours is the sarung kebaya, the saya kebaya. Ours is the Barcelona. So what I'm trying to say, the focus of not just putting that colourful dress and neglecting your original, you are going to lose out. Because why? Portugal and Portuguese dancer like this is everywhere in the world. But your own form will disappear if you don't maintain it. You don't promote it. Yes, the Mata Cantiga is dead and gone. We here are not trying to revive it. So slowly, get maybe like I say one or two who can really do spontaneous, which is quite difficult, if not we choreograph. And if we have say 10 rebuttals, one male, one female, and we do. And it's traditional with the tambo, with the violin, and you have the very nice. And then all the others from all the other Teguh, from Flores, from Sri Lanka, is it a group Sri Lanka performing? Really, they choreograph, they put the Portuguese element in their own local cultural elements. Oh, you're so beautiful. You can see it's Portuguese, their dress is so much Portuguese, but they have the dress more reflecting their culture. They don't have that very colorful, they have the typical Indian color and Indian cutting. Exactly. So that is actually what they want. They don't want to see that Portuguese. They don't want to see that.
And it's not that the Portuguese people are looking forward to you imitating them or using their dress and not. No, they're not impressed. They're not impressed.
You are
What
saying,
they want to see is
Malam, you're singing and
you're
thinking yes.
local.
They want you to sing the Malam impossible, not you to just take and then put in a computer and then just jolok the sound Malam. Cannot. Primarily live musicians.
Yeah.
There was this one group, I think it's Sri Lanka.
Yeah, Sri Lanka.
Just playing sticks.
Oh,
It's complete.
no.
The way you do the dance,
I was not there.
circle dance, just doing knocking stick. It's complete. You don't need to have a big band like to do your presentation. But for me, I believe number one, very important instrument for our community is the violin. I'm never going to pursue that. Violin in the cultural performance, singing, very important because that is the real lead. No, you see, even the Keroncong group they got violin. All the other groups have the violin because the violin is really a lead instrument. And then for us, especially like see how they play that presentation, Sidarik, see that's intro. You can't do it on the guitar.
Yeah.
You cannot do it with what they call is a ukulele. So that kind of instrument is very important. And number two is the tambo, or it is the rabana, but it must be our kind of rabana. The sound will be boom, 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 boom. And my grandma has got one nice big kind of bass drum.
Who is this?
Bass drum.
Morris, yeah.
So this is the emphasis that they are looking for, not the colorful. That one is Minu, that one is Portugal. They won't die because they are many and they are well organized and they are supported by groups, the government. We here, we are on our own.
Yeah.
We got to get our act together. So the plan is for 2027. My vision now is to try to organize one group that is going to be authentic, original, of our own cultural.
From Melaka.
Yes. even if they're gonna have two groups, so be it. Ours will emphasize on the real traditional. See, I posted about Sarah. They are performing in this is tourism, they are performing. Where you got such thing? I will share with you. So I posted. I said this is a distortion of the original Branyo. It is a dishonor to the Malacca Portuguese community. You are distorting, you are bastardizing. Because we don't dance that's the way we dance. We don't do what the hell? Huh? That's what I'm saying. We are also to be blamed. Why? Because we are not protecting ourselves.
Yeah.
So you get Sunny Brigade, government back, they come, and Sarah can say this is a new, we have to be open to a new modern way of interpretation. Original, traditional, there's no such thing as modern interpretation. You create a modern dance by all means. But you don't use the tang 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 and the tang 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 tang. Come on.
See, 1 minute. This is our traditional baju.
Dress, yes.
The long kabaya. That one is typical the Nyonya ones.
Can I take a photo of that?
They
I've
don't
got
see
a
that.
better picture. I'm looking for it.
Okay, thank
I'll
you.
give you later.
No, you see the
I will
colorful.
give you.
Thank you.
The colorful is Portugal, let it be Portuguese. You got your traditional dress, your traditional music, your song.
Yeah.
That is what
We
you
have to
focus.
keep it up.
That is your real identity. And if you lose it, just too bad. Means you have lost a lot.
Yeah,
You have lost yourself, isn't it? Anyway, never mind, I say.
No worries. Because I was just talking about it with Melissa Chan yesterday from the Bandar Hari. I talked about how for the Singapore Eurasians we needed to perform, not we like, I mean I wasn't part of that, in the 70s, 80s.
It's okay. Singapore Eurasian.
It was all Singapore Eurasians.
Yeah.
But there was
Okay.
There was a period where we needed to perform identity to fit into the racial model of Singapore.
Correct.
Chinese, Malay, Indian, others,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Others on Eurasian. Others.
So now it will I can classify as English, but still unofficial forms are others. You know?
Okay.
And so there's a great book by Aloysius Pereira, Dr. Aloysius Pereira.
Who is he?
He's an academic in Singapore.
Okay.
Called,
Aloysius Pereira.
there's a series of Singapore Chronicles, Singapore Eurasians, and he talks about in the 70s, 80s there was this incident that triggered the community to want to be more visible, because essentially,
Cultural identity.
yeah, I'll try to summarize. It's a long story.
No worries, yeah.
There was a local writer who wrote like local stories, Chinese writer, and maybe Praya, and she wrote a story about this Eurasian character in her novel. And this character, unfortunately, had all the stereotypes that you can imagine of what people would say about US. So, happy-go-lucky, not serious, doesn't want to work, likes
That's
to.
the write-up.
That is this character, right? So it became an O-level text. So kids are doing like, can you describe how this character is? Then you have to write. So the whole country, the kids are writing, oh, this character is like this, and so it's like, hey, hang on a second, like, no one is speaking for us. We better speak for ourselves. So that's the thing that triggered this thing.
Correct.
But in Singapore, to be a race, to be an ethnicity, this is my summary of Aloysius Pereira as well. You need a song, a dance, and a costume, so you can be part of National Day Parade. Right? Okay. So you need to perform the
dance,
culture.
costume.
Yeah, costume. So part of the thing was to come to Malacca. I think they came and they studied something.
60s, 70s.
70s, 80s.
70s, 80s.
Probably 80s. Probably 80s. 70s. And they took the GP Mura. They took what they thought was the cultural costume, which is the puffy white blouse, the red skirt, okay, the name of the vest, the hat, okay. So that is, and then they had some ballet dancers, and they choreographed a dance for parade, for National Parade. So when I saw that, I'm like, is it I'm not Eurasian? Because how come my family never wear this kind of puffy blouse, this skirt? How come I've never heard the song Drinking Nona? Like, so is it I'm not Eurasian enough? And they thought, no, this is manufactured to exist within the racial
Context.
model of so actually performing identity was interesting for me.
So that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You see, the thing is, because we're not speaking for ourselves, we're not
Yeah.
presenting ourselves, people are just putting, like you say, this guy say, well, this community is very complacent, they like to sit under the tree, they laze away. Yesterday I was talking to Hedy, and this is actually, what's the word she used, this is actually the narrative, but this is how people have the perception of the community.
Yeah.
Now, I told her, I said, you see a group of fishermen or anybody under the tree playing a card game, they're idling or they are just, they call it recreating and just relaxing because they're at sea.
Yeah.
And it's just their pastime.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean they're not being productive. They've done their share of work. Now they want to come back, just share whatever experience they had at sea and just have a card game because that maybe can distress them.
Yeah.
Not necessarily